Attention, Cleveland Browns fans! A major update just came in straight from the AFC North that could completely change the course of the season. Something big is happening, and it could have a direct impact on the Browns' path toward another possible Super Bowl run. We're talking about a shift in the balance of power in the division that could cause one of our main rivals to stumble badly in the coming years. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share it with your friends. Now let's get to the facts. The Cleveland Browns are just a few weeks away from opening training camp with an intense battle for the starting quarterback job. Even so, some still believe that an outside candidate could be in play to take over as the Week 1 starter. Rumors surfaced a few months ago that the Browns were pursuing quarterback Kirk Cousins from the Atlanta Falcons, who was reportedly unhappy. That idea, however, was quickly dismissed after the team signed Joe Flacco and drafted two rookies, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. They also had Kenny Pickett on the roster before adding the three names just mentioned. Paul Kasabian from Bleacher Report isn't letting the talk about Cousins going to Cleveland fade quietly after Aaron Rodgers officially joined the Pittsburgh Steelers last month. Kasabian recently tried to identify the best landing spots for Cousins, and the Browns made his list. Cousins is arguably the best quarterback of the bunch, as his resume proves. Kasabian wrote, "In theory, if the Browns aren't comfortable naming someone from that group as QB1, a trade could happen." Plus, the connection to Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, who was Cousins' quarterback's coach with the Vikings in 2018 and offensive coordinator in 2018 and 2019, is certainly notable here. The Browns' quarterback battle seems completely up in the air, but maybe the latest betting odds can provide some insight into who will start in Week 1. The fight for the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback job will definitely be one of the most interesting stories of training camp. Their rookies, Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick, and Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round pick, are expected to report on July 18th. They'll only be joined by veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett on July 22nd. All four players were brought in this off-season and will have a chance to take over Deshaun Watson's starting job for the 2025 NFL season, while he recovers from a devastating situation that led to him tearing his Achilles tendon twice in a short period of time. Cleveland hasn't ruled out the possibility of his return at some point next season, but that would require one of the four quarterbacks to play well enough to keep the Browns alive until then, without playing so well that they lock down the starting job for the rest of the season. The Cleveland Browns have 5 quarterbacks on the roster, 4 of them new and 1 injured, so it's logical that one of them will end up being among the franchise's biggest disappointments this season. Analysts usually reserve the bust label for a young player, maybe in the early years of a rookie deal, who hasn't panned out or hasn't lived up to pre-NFL expectations. The Browns have such players on the roster: Dillon Gabriel, pick no. 94, round 3, and Shedeur Sanders, pick no. 144, round 5. However, Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report went beyond just using the label bust when he predicted the top flop for every franchise on Thursday, July 10th. In Cleveland's case, he pointed to 40-year-old Joe Flacco, who may very well be playing in his final professional season and is certainly much closer to the end of his NFL career than the beginning. Of the group of Cleveland quarterbacks, Flacco is the only one who has actually taken snaps for the Browns. He had a remarkable 4-1 record as a starter in 2023, helping Cleveland clinch an impressive playoff berth. Fans hoping for a repeat of Flacco fever will likely be disappointed. Assuming Flacco beats out the other 3 quarterbacks, he still won't be joining a roster that's just 1 quarterback away from playoff contention. Kenny Pickett gaining steam as Browns Week 1 starter. Any Browns fan who wants to take a glass-half-full perspective on Cleveland's quarterback situation might find some dark comfort in the idea that Flacco might not disappoint, because there's a decent chance he won't even play. The Browns have plenty of motivation to win early in the season, and the front office may need to do that if they want to keep their jobs after 2025. With that in mind, 4th-year veteran quarterback Kenny Pickett might be the guy heading into Week 1, a take that's been gaining traction among analysts across the NFL landscape. Pickett is a former first-round pick who could succeed in a quarterback-friendly system like the one the Browns have under Kevin Stefanski, wrote CBS Sports' Jeff Kerr on Wednesday. When the regular season arrives, Pickett will still be the starter in Week 1. Browns encouraged to start Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel as soon as possible. In a perfect world, Gabriel or Sanders would beat out Flacco and Pickett during the preseason. Cleveland needs to find out what they've got in both rookies, especially because the Browns hold the rights to their own 2026 first-round pick and the one that belongs to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Either of those picks could end up in the top 10, top 5, or even be the first overall. So, if the Browns begin to lose control of the season, the coaching staff will likely give Gabriel or Sanders their shot right away. However, if Pickett plays, well, he could keep the starting job and return in 2026 if one of the rookies shines. One or both could be back next season. Flacco remains the quarterback most likely to leave the franchise next year. Regardless of his performance, it's likely the Browns' quarterback position will be a revolving door for the next 2 seasons or more, but the tests are coming, and so are the answers. They just might not be the answers the Browns or their fan base are hoping for.